Hello everyone, welcome to lindasueplantsforyou. Today we're going to talk about and repot the Prince of Orange. Isn't she a beauty? Okay, hopefully you're getting a good view of this beautiful plant. Just a few things before we get started with the repotting. This plant I got when she was maybe 6 to 8 inches tall. A little over a year ago, I believe it was now. I ordered her through the mail, and she arrived along with the rojo kojo, I always forget how to pronounce that, the other philodendron. And both of these plants got stuck in the mail, and they were very greatly affected by the cold temperatures, and the other one didn't make it. They were sent priority mail, so I could have pursued it through the postal service, but it just wasn't worth what I had to go through. So I just worked really hard and very diligently to keep this one going, and that's exactly what happened. She kept going. There's a lot of new growth on her. I'm going to try and turn this around and see if you can, hopefully you can see these. There's, I'll push her off the table here. There's this one, and there's one back here, and there's another one in back here. I know it's probably hard for you to see, but I'm doing the best I can here with what I have to work with. So I just want to say at the outset here that this plant, although a lot of the information on the internet says that this is a low light plant, yes, it can grow in low light, but if you want the beautiful colors, you need the bright sun. However, if you have her in direct sun, chances are she's going to droop, and that's what happened to me recently with her. I moved her. I had her behind my sofa, and she was kind of tucked under a few other big plants. And what I didn't realize was that she was not getting any leaves on one side of the pot. And when I pulled her out and saw that, I was a little panicked because I wasn't sure if there was still time to get leaves. But she did. She pushed out some new leaves. This was the flat side. And it kind of leaned over toward the side, the heavy side that had all the leaves on it. So I put these supports in there, but honestly, I don't think they're even holding her up anymore, but we'll see when I take these out. But I'm going to put her in the back in my west window and hope that she does. I'm going to keep a very close eye on her. Now, I do have a sheer curtain on that window, and she's the only one that's in the spot that I'm going to put her. So I can always pull it over a little bit, which I may end up having to do. And like I said, when I first put her over there, her leaves, it was like she was trying to get out of the sunlight. So I'm not sure, but we'll see when I put her back there what happens, and I'll let you know the outcome of that. This plant is an epiphyte, and she will grow straight up if you train her properly and give her the right light. Otherwise, she will lean toward the light, like many plants do. And one of the things that happened to me was she didn't get any leaves on the side that wasn't getting the bright light. So it's important to turn her to keep her stem upright and keep her even around the whole plant, evenly sized leaves and amounts of leaves and what have you. She does prefer a little higher humidity, and she can do well on a pebble tray. She can do well with spraying. However, I don't use either one of those methods, and I say all the time on my videos, my humidity is pretty good in here, so I don't really worry too much about that. I water her when she's dry, and how I know she's dry is I feel the soil, and sometimes I pick up the pot. Now, as she's getting older and getting heavier, that's a little more difficult to do, because you may lift up the pot and it may feel, heavy, so you don't give it water, when in fact the heaviness is coming from the plant, not the pot. So, I have her very close to two other plants that I do use a moisture meter for, and one of them is my burro's tail, because I can't fit my finger down in there because it's packed with growth, and my Pilea peperomiides, because that one is in a really deep pot and I was having watering issues with her. But since I started using the moisture meter, that has calmed down greatly. It's almost, my watering issues are pretty much resolved now. So I'm probably going to do that with her. She's not too far from those plants, so it'll be easy to manage. I'm going to, after I repot her, I'm going to wash all her leaves. The other thing I wanted to talk about here is the soil mixture. I'm going to continue to use my Happy Frog soil, and there's not a lot of perlite in it. Normally I add some, but because this is a philodendron and she likes to drink, I think I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to be putting her in a plastic pot, so I'm really going to have to watch that watering, because she doesn't want her roots to be wet either. She will get overwatered very easily. But I don't have a big enough clay pot. I have two bigger clay pots, but they're far bigger than what she's in right now. And I know that she'll probably grow into them without a problem, but I have other plants that absolutely require that size pot, so I'm saving that for those. So for the time being, we're going to put her in my little trusty Dollar Tree pot, and honestly, I really detest plastic pots. I hate them. I wish I didn't have to use them, but, it's very difficult to find clay pots in my area right now, and when I do, they are getting quite expensive. So I have a lot of these that I picked up for emergencies, and they don't come with drainage holes, but they do come with little spots where you can poke the things out, and it'll give you those drainage holes. And while there's not a lot, I think that's enough to accommodate what we're trying to do here. And you'll notice I actually cracked it when I did that. I didn't use a drill, I just used a pointed tool and pounded it down, and I cracked it. And these crack very easy when you try to poke those holes out, by the way. It's not the first one I've done that to, so probably won't be the last, but that's okay. It's not a big deal, it's just a little more drainage. Alright, so first thing I want to do here is, let's put this on the saucer and get some soil in here. I hope you guys are all doing well today. I'm kind of excited. We got our Milwaukee Bucks have one more game to play, and that's tonight for the championship. And they have not seen that in, I believe it's 50 years. So, boy, that's really something to be excited about. I'm not a huge basketball fan anymore. I used to be years ago, but my game of choice now is football. I love football, especially on a sunny winter Sunday afternoon. And being in my nice warm house while it's snowing outside and the football game is on in the background. it reminds me of some very good childhood memories. So, all right, I'm going to pull these. Well, let's get this out of the way. And hopefully I won't have the same issue I had with my last repot, which was my rubber tree, and the whole thing came out and I made quite the mess. Okay, this is a bamboo stick that I put in there. And this one is also bamboo. I'm not sure if you can, I don't think you guys can see that. But I'm going to pull it out. Oh yeah, it's leaning. She's leaning pretty bad. So I'm definitely going to have both hands on this while I loosen her up here. And bear with me, folks. I'm trying to get you the best view here that I can, and I just can't seem to manage it. But okay. Now, I did have her standing up with just that one bamboo stick, but it must have been the way she was in the window and I wasn't turning her, so I'm going to have to pay closer attention and turn her more often. But honestly, at this point, I don't think it's going to matter because her the bottom here, bottom part of her stem is quite a bit thinner than it is up here. And that's from her horrible start that she got from when she was caught in the cold. So I can't do anything about that, but I can prop her up. So if that is what I have to do, that's what I'll do. I don't mind the bamboo. I'm really starting to develop an aversion to the moss poles. And honestly, the only reason for a moss pole, other than to stake up a plant, is because if you have aerial roots, which this plant does get, but they're not necessary. I get them on other plants of mine and I cut them off. I know some people like them. They think they're cool and stuff, and that's, to each his own. I don't like them. They're wonky looking, and I don't know. They just don't agree with me for some reason, and it doesn't hurt to cut them off. So the aerial roots will, attach themselves to the moss poles. When they're growing out in the wild, that's how they grow, and that's how they spread. That's how they survive. But when you have them in your home, in a pot, and you're feeding and watering them and giving them whatever care they need, they really don't need those aerial roots. So I usually just cut them off. Or you can stick them back down in the soil. That's up to you. So far, I don't believe I have any on this plant. I don't see any. But that's one of the reasons for a moss pole. It's not the only reason, but it's so that, and then you have to keep the moss pole wet, so I just don't care to do that. Okay, this is really not coming out very easily. I'm hoping, oh my goodness, I so hope that I don't break this off of here. I probably should have left it connected to the, I think I'm going to stick this back in here. Maybe that will give me a little extra support until I get her moved. don't know. We will see. Okay. Oh boy. She does not want to come out. A little more digging, I'm afraid. And I'm a little concerned that her roots have grown into this tray on the bottom. Maybe I can get that off of there. This is one of those pots. I believe I got these at Lowe's. And you know, they're convenient because they have an attached tray, drip tray. But if the roots got down under in there, that might be what it's holding on to right now. Because I think I have it pretty loosened around the edge. Oh, there's a spot. Okay, let's try it one more time. Nope. All right. Oh, I'm so worried I'm going to break this off. I can't even tell you how wobbly this is. Ugh. Oh, no, it's not. It's not caught in the drip tray, so. Okay. What is the holdup on here? Well, I guess the moral of this story is I should have done this a long time ago, huh? Oh, there it goes. Oh. Well, alrighty then. Okay. Now, I'm sure you can see down here where it's much thinner than up here. And it's really wobbly. It wouldn't take much for this to just snap off at this point. And I really don't want that to happen, so I'm going to try to loosen this soil up a little bit here while it's sitting on its root ball, and hopefully I can get her back in the pot without a major mishap. That just would not be good. I would be very sad to lose this plant at this point. And not that I would, I could probably root it, but I don't want to go through that. I have plants that need addressing. Okay. I think we got her cleaned up pretty good here. And again, I'm sorry if I'm sticking these leaves in your face, but it's just a real cumbersome thing what I'm doing here. So just bear with me a few moments while I get it out of here, and then you'll be able to see the bottom of the pot. Quite a... Okay. I think that's good. You can see the roots, the amount of roots here. And they're heavy because I did water this yesterday because it had to get watered, and I wasn't sure if I would get to repotting her today, and I didn't want to let her go another day, so I went against my better judgment and I watered her, and that makes the roots stick to the soil, which I don't like. Okay. Alright. Now, we gotta get it in here. Alright. Give my arms a little rest here for a moment, and just out of the way. Okay, now let me show you this here. Do you see, if I put the bottom of this stem straight up, can you see here where it's curved? That is because of the light. That is why she needs to be turned on a regular basis so that she gets light evenly around her. And if she does, or if she just gets overhead light, that's even better, because then she'll grow straight up. Alright. And I actually need more soil in here. This isn't high enough. She needs to be up a few more inches. So, let's stick her in there. Whoa. She almost rolled over onto the floor. Oh, that would have been so sad if that happened. Alright. I think one more. Okay. She's still down kind of far. very strange. This pot is not much deeper than the one she came out of. It's wider, but it's not much deeper. I think that should do it. This is so much easier to do when I have an extra hand. These bigger plants I usually have my daughter or granddaughter or husband help me with because it's just a lot easier. Okay, I'm going to put this U-shaped bamboo back in here just to kind of help steady it a little bit. See, it didn't take much. It's just got a little bit of a lean. And like I said, I'm hoping that that will fix itself as I give her new lighting here. Well, we're about halfway through summer. At least where I live. I haven't been able to get out much this year, like I was hoping I would, but my husband he loves and absolutely adores the hot weather. The hotter, the stickier, the better. And I'm just the opposite. I don't know how we ended up being happily married, living happily ever after. But we found a way to make that work. Okay. A little bit more soil, I think, and then we'll be done. I don't know if any of my followers watch, well, it used to be the Voodoo Garden. Now he's no longer doing the Voodoo Garden, but he's still doing his other channel, which is Praxis 53172 or something like that. Praxuss, I believe. And he is a funny guy. I love his channel. He's very down to earth. And he talks about a lot of things. He actually wrote a book about his life, and he read it on his channel, and that was kind of interesting. But anyway, his name is Ray, and he had a Prince of Orange in his voodoo garden. And it was beautiful. It was like twice the size of this. It stood straight up, and it was just gorgeous with color. But he had all overhead lights in there, very bright lights, very, very bright lights. And so the plant got exactly what it needed to give that color. And I used to really enjoy watching that for that reason. But he doesn't have that anymore. Not sure what he did with it. But anyway, like I said earlier, the color, you know, eventually it will turn very, very dark green. Right now I've got a lot of burgundy on here, and that's, let me move the camera up so you can see. That actually did start out as the bright orange and yellow colors. And now they're burgundy and green. And that's okay. They're so beautiful. And I am hoping to get, more orange color on here, although it's not looking too promising on these stems because they're already burgundy as they're coming out. And the ones that were the brighter yellow, they were like that as they were coming out of the plant. So I am really hopeful that now that it's going to be in that west window, I'm hoping it won't be too much light. And I'm really hoping that I will have the bright orange and yellow leaves on here, because it's just stunning when it's in bloom. I don't think this leaf knows where it wants to be here. Okay. I think that's going to work. I'm going to put my granules in there and give her a good watering and put her in the living room. And I'll take a picture of that in a moment. Let me finish doing what I'm doing here, and then I'll be back and I'll show you where she's going to live. And there she is, folks, in living color, all in her glory. So pretty. Sitting here with her other relatives. But you can see, since we cut that tree down outside, that light is pretty bright now. The clouds, the sky is very cloudy right now, and it's still very bright, so you can imagine how much brighter that is when the sun is beating down. But I do have some sheer curtains up there that I can pull in the event that that is too bright for her. I'm just going to have to keep a close eye on her, but I think she's going to do fine there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit without making you dizzy. The zoom lens on here is not in the most appropriate place. There you go. Isn't she pretty? Beautiful. And a fast grower too, folks. So if you haven't got a Prince of Orange, you might want to think about getting one. Really beautiful plant. Alrighty. Well, you all have a good rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye now.